Let me ask you a question. Are you sitting comfortably? Well, maybe that's the problem. You see, growth does not happen when you're sitting comfort your comfort zone. To lead to growth or to make any type of impact, stepping out of your space of safety and the unknown is imperative. Let me talk about one of my favorite persons before I get into today's topic of getting out of your comfort zone. Maya Angelou. She is an icon, a civil rights activist, poet, storytelling. She's fantastic, a prolific writer. But one thing that Maya Angelou faced in the very early moments of her life is she had to step out of her comfort zone when they asked her to write her autobiography. See, Maya Angelou's story is told that she hesitated because she's a very private person, for one. And then she was exposing personal and painful experiences that happened in her childhood. And it can become overwhelming. And she said it was. So she wasn't sure if she wanted to share her story with the world, let alone bring up the traumas that happened in her childhood that shaped her to who she was to become. But despite her fears and all that, she leaped into writing I Know Why the Cage Bird Sings. And if you haven't read that book, I want to encourage you to go read it. And it had become one of the best sellers. And it opened so many conversations about racism, identity, resiliency. And Maya Angelou stepped out of her comfort zone. She she would have kept her personal life private by not stepping out of her comfort zone. She wouldn't have transformed my life, some other people's lives, and impacted countless numbers of readers in the world. She leaped out of her comfort zone and got vulnerable and turned her voice into power and also gave the voiceless their voice. So her story shows that growth happens when you step out of the outside of the box, step out of your comfort zone, embrace the power to share your story. And this is what we're going to dive into today. So I want to first welcome you to my channel. I'm Dr. Cheryl Clarke, a licensed marriage and family therapist, a communication coach, and a founder of Speak Your Power Now Academy. And I'm here to help people to discover their authentic voice and break through those barriers and reaching their true potential. And like I hope you enjoyed the story of Maya Angelou, and I hope it inspired you to take some action. But today, I stick around. I want you to share it. I want you to subscribe because today we're going to be walking through how to step out of your comfort zone, how to face the fears, how to move through those learning growths, and how to move to the growth learning zone. And this is where leaders are made. This is where transformations are born. This is where you can begin to see your true self and what you were born to do. So let's get right into it. You know, I always tell you to get a pad of paper out because I do notes here. So you go ahead and get your pad or smart board out, whichever that you're going to use today. Because today we're going to be moving into what is your comfort zone, the things that you need to do, and how you can then inspire yourself to move out of the comfort zone. All right. So let's get right to it. Let me break down what is a comfort zone in psychology terms, because you know I'm a clinician, so I'm going to start there first. Your comfort zone is the zone where people stay in. I'm going to give you a breakdown in some psychology terms of what a comfort zone is. Okay. Now, let me just bring my camera up so you can actually see that. Perfect. All right. So when we're looking at the comfort zone, let's break down what that means in terms of psychology. And when I say psychology, I mean in the world of mental health, right? Describing um, comfort zone, if I have to describe it in that state of when someone feels safe, at ease, or they have a perceived control over their environment, right? And it has low levels of anxiety and stress, right? That's the comfort zone. Then the behavior state, if you look at that, of where you are in your environment, uh, Judith uh, Judith Barwick, she was the writer of Danger in the Comfort Zone. And it's from the ballroom to the mailroom. I would say get that because she talks about how the comfort zone was killing a lot of businesses, and it's a good read and how she really get um, a handle on what comfort zones are. So the term she used was anxiety neutral position. A comfort zone is an anxiety neutral position. And what Judith Barwick said, when persons are in the psychological state, the persons feel neither they are particularly anxious nor relaxed. Essentially, they just operate within their comfort zone. So there's no anxiety here. They're not relaxed. They're just neutral, anxiety neutral position, right? And if you place where you feel safe or in control, right? It's a place where they feel controlled, they feel safe, and they have minimum stress or worry, right? And this place that you have here, where you have that, the anxiety is there's no significant anxiety present. So this is why this term is very clear, because if you think about a car is just glides when it's in neutral. So when you look at that, there's no risk here, right? You just know your routine, you know it's predictable, you know the results practically, and it feels good. So we stay in that comfort zone. And other researchers say talk about it stays stagnant too. There's no real growth in the comfort zone. So this is a place of safety, but you also may find yourself being in a procrastination place, or you avoid real challenges. You don't face the real fears that are happening that should happen, and instead you get distracted by ourselves, and we want to do stay in this comfort zone because it makes us feel very safe. So when you're in this anxiety neutral position, you avoid discomfort at all costs. So while the comfort zone may feel safe, this is where your dreams will die. I'm going to say that again. While your comfort zone may feel safe, this is where your dreams can die. And if you desire to lead, if you desire to grow, if you desire to step out of that space and do something bigger, then this is the place for you. Continue to keep watching, because this comfort zone will teach you how that you can begin to get out the comfort zone. Now, I want to talk about embracing the comfort zone in about three areas where you can see how the comfort zone moves. So I'm going to draw this circle first. And inside the circle, I'm going to talk about the four areas. And inside the first of this circle here, we're going to call this the comfort zone. So in this little circle is your comfort zone. This is where you feel safe. This is where you feel like you're in control of everything. This is that little, and it's very smaller than the outside, right? Okay, so I'm getting there. Then we're going to move outside of the comfort zone, and this is what we're going to call the fear zone. And I'm going to explain what this is. The fear zone. Now, the fear zone is affected when other people's opinion may come in. You may find that you're going to find excuses here and things of that nature. So in the fear zone, when you are moving in this, and another Dr. Wims, I believe Bonnie Wims, describes fear, particularly when we are fear the failure, and I have a video about fear of failure, and maybe embarrassment, losing control. When fear creeps up, it's uncertainty comes in, right? And you have less confidence that happens. And also Dr. Brene Brown, she talks a lot about fear and vulnerability. It goes hand in hand, because what happens with vulnerability, it's hard because it keeps it keeps you from being exposing yourself to criticism, right? So when we are stepping out of our comfort zone, then we are likely to get criticized or judged or fail at something. But here's the thing. When you understand what fear is, and fear is normal, and we normalize it, you won't avoid it anymore, right? Because a factor is that fear is a signal that you're starting to grow. That is what fear is. The fear is that when you turning the fear in that overwhelm, you're looking at yourself to check and see, what do you need, right? What are your needs that you're really getting in tune with you? So this fear zone, right, is crucial to your development for your growth mindset. And I believe Dr. Wims talks about fear can paralyze us, right? But it also can propel us to our future self. It can propel you forward. And it can also be able to move you in a space where now you are now moving towards your true identity of who you were meant to be on this earth, right? So in this space, and with a lot of clinicians, we talk about the word reframe. So we reframing the fear. We want to reframe the fear, reframe that fear into excitement, to new possibilities. What's beyond that fear, right? Not having a reason for us to stop ourselves, but letting the fear simply be a signpost, right? That you're on the edge of something meaningful, right? I'm on the edge of something real, something new, a new idea is on the other side of that comfort zone. We don't just have to be in a space where uncertainty lives, but we are not. And also, I want to just frame it too. You know, when you're in a comfort zone, you're going to be able you to resist that being un I would say uninterested, or something that you feel like somebody you're being lazy or something. No, no, that's not fear. What fear is, fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of the unknown. So sometimes when you avoid some new challenges, it's because when we're feeling fear, that means that we don't have control. And let me tell you, fear is powerful, but it's also paralyzing. So you probably have experienced it. I know I have. Fear that comes up, and what do we do about it when something difficult happens? And suddenly you're filled with all the reasons why you shouldn't take that step, why you shouldn't do that. But I want you to go to a little deeper, because those excuses are making the fear grow. So I want you to look at this. I want you to know that we're all humans, and it's very natural for us to have some type of fear. But for us to stay there too long, it will kill our dreams. So I want you to look at how you can move us to the next area, which is the learning zone. This area just a little bigger, the learning zone. The learning zone. So in the learning zone, this is where you're going to deal with some of those challenges, some of the problems that you're going to be facing, because this is when you're embracing, right? You're embracing some of the things that may have given you fear. Now you're developing new skills here in the learning zone. This is where you're going to expand your abilities. Once you move from the fear zone, now you may go back and forth because the fear, it works in tandem. You see that it's moving, right? It's moving. So it's like you're moving with the cycle, moving with the zones. There When there is an expansion of your abilities, you begin to challenge yourself, right? So when you're stepping into new territories, learning new skills, encountering challenges, forcing yourself to rethink and think differently, this is where you can begin to look at how you can move in a space of learning. And this model comes from Tom Singer, what is the learning zone model, where he talks about how you can develop real skills, real learning skills in the face of chaos, right? When you are not, when you're in either a comfort zone, or you're in the learning zone or the fear zone, it's really about you being able to stretch your ideas, Stretch your mindset. Well, Carol Derwick, she talks about the concept of growth mindset, of actually embracing challenges with actually learning and developing yourself so you can learn how to move. If you did make an error, that you did fail at something, there's always ways that you can get feedback from the failure, right? So when you need to stay curious about your future. You need to stay curious about new things, open for new experiences. This is the place where you see trial and error will come out. And trial and error is the best teachers. The more and more you challenge yourself, the more and more you get out of your comfort zone, the more and more you would expand your knowledge and new skills will appear. So remember, this zone is not always the easy zone, but it's imperative for leaders to spend a lot of time developing yourself. It's imperative for you to grow. It's imperative for you to see how you can move into the next zone, which is the growth zone. This is where we want to be. It moves you to the growth zone. Now, in the growth zone, this is the stage where you have moved through the fear, you're embracing the learning process, you're really growing through the possibilities and the opportunities that may be afforded to you. So this is where your dreams can start to materialize themselves, right? When you align your efforts and your purpose and your passion and your values, all of that starts to go together and it's like glue, right? So when you start to achieve your goals, it seems like you are reaching for something and you're becoming more adaptable, becoming more creative, becoming more confident. And you reminding yourself that fear and control can often hold you back, right? And you want to push yourself through those things. You want to be able to see how much more capable you really are than you thought. You're more resilient than you thought. So there have been leaders, and there have been times where there have been some times where they probably felt as though they couldn't do it either. But leaders in the growth zone are consistently setting new goals. They're consistently helping others along the way from whatever happened to them. That's the Maya Angelou story, how she began to share her story and it has helped so many people. This is not the end, it's an ongoing process. Each time you reach your goal, each time you move to the growth zone, you are setting new environments. You're setting more ambitious goals, and the cycle continues. It continues because as you are tapping in, you're understanding the zone, you're learning more and more about yourself in each and every zone. So I always give you a couple of tips in how. And I want you to think about the things that I've taught you today about comfort zone. And I want you to see, and I want you to ask yourself this question: how do you keep moving forward through these zones? How do I keep pushing through fear and embrace the learning and enter into the growth mindset? How do I do this, Cheryl? Well, the first thing I want you to know, I will give you three strategies. You know, I always leave you with a couple of strategies, but three strategies. The first one is I want you to tap into your why. Number one, tap into your why. That is number one. My why. What does that mean, Cheryl? Well, when fear strikes, right, you can feel stuck. And coming back to your why am I doing this? Why am I why is this my purpose? What is my purpose? And how do I overcome these fears, right? So when fear strikes and when these things begin to give you a setback, like when fear comes and you want to go back into your comfort zone, right? I just want you to quickly have a quick fix in your brain. Now, Simon Sinek is a very good resource. His last name is spelled Sinek, Simon Sinek. He teaches on start with why. I love his teachings. Now, knowing how to go deeper with your why is very much so important because when you're faced with obstacles, right, most people focus on what to do and how to do it. But what Simon teaches about the why is he emphasizes on the importance of understanding why you do it. Why do you do it? Why is your purpose important? And go deeper behind your actions of why we do what we do. When you get clear on that, fear becomes less overwhelming because your purpose is bigger than the challenges in front of you. And then your why will keep you pushing through. And Dr. Wims also has a five-way method, five whys method. And she talks about how you can the idea of asking yourself a couple of whys, four whys. And the four questions, why, ask yourself why. Why am I doing this? And the first question usually is a practical question like, I want to succeed in my career. I want to grow my business. That's why I'm doing this. Then you go a little deeper. He asking you to go a little deeper. But don't stop there. Why is it important to me? Take your question deeper. Take your why deeper. Maybe I want to grow my business because I want to be financially stable. Okay, go a little deeper, he says. He asks you again, why? Why do you want to be financially stable? And then he says, well, maybe get a little closer to my family, to help support my family, get secure my future, create opportunities for others. Whatever your why is, you go deeper. And then the last one, he asks you to refine your why. Keep asking yourself why. Because then that's why you get down to deeper to create a legacy for my family. And because of that, to empower the world with what my methods are. So if you're working towards something, maybe it's your career, maybe it's your relationship, why is important because it keeps you going. It keeps you finding more and more purpose to drill down when that fear starts to come up. And providing you with your why, sometimes with the uncertainty, the fear that comes up, it can shift you to focusing not on the fear, but focusing on what truly matters to you. And the sense of you having a purpose fuels your resiliency. So that gives you the strength to move forward, empowering yourselves. The second one is focus. I want you to begin to focus on the benefit. Focus on the benefit. The second one, focus on the benefit. What's the benefit? If I do this, what's the benefit? If I continue to do this, what is the benefit if I continue to do this, right? What is the benefit? The benefits. The benefits is you got to keep your eye on that prize. So if you said that I'm going to help people out here in the world, keep your eye on the prize. I'm out here learning and growing. This is where you're learning and growing, and you immerse yourself in personal growth. You're going to gain confidence in your career, your relationships, whatever that is. You're going to be pushing yourself beyond that comfort zone. And remember, the benefits can outweigh your discomfort. Let me just say that, right? Because you got to keep pushing and keep moving because your fear can catch up with you. And because the uncertainties are there, especially when you're moving into something new. So by shifting your mindset, right? Challenging yourself because looking at the long-term rewards that you're going to gain, that other people are going to gain. You need to keep that moving, right? So why we talk about this, because one of the biggest benefits of you stepping into the learning, the learning and the growth zones is because your personal benefits, your personal development, each time you stretch beyond your comfort zone, you build a new skill, you gain new knowledge, you increase your resiliency, you challenge yourself to be more confident and the ability to handle new situations when they come, right? And then it begins to give you fuel, right? And then even in your professional life, if you learn more, that means that it's more likely that you will move into those leadership roles. It's more likely that you would then begin to start solving these complex problems or being more innovative. When you embrace yourself, get out there, this and in your discomfort, get out of the comfort zone, because it's going to be probably uncomfortable to meet new people and to adapt, right? And to prepare yourself for future opportunities. This right here can improve your progress. It can improve your performance. It can make your career and be outstanding in it. And also, when you're facing new challenges, it has you to think a little differently, because now you're not only in your own head, especially when you're by yourself in isolation, you're in your own head and you're relying on the same behaviors, the same comfort zone. You're developing the same thing over and over, just keep re-rinsing and rinsing and rinsing, right? So, but if you go out and find new approaches to new problems or the same problems, you begin to get creative. You begin to have more skills and more tools in your toolbox, professionally and personally, right? And then you begin to look and see, what difference can I make, right? Instead, am I staying stagnant, or am I making real progress? So when you're looking at this, stepping out of your comfort zone really teaches you how to navigate the uncertainty, how to navigate the fear. So the more you practice embracing new experiences, the handle you get on the unexpected changes that may happen, right? And then it's crucial in this world today. It's crucial for you to have a quick response. It's crucial for you to have that growth. It's crucial for you to shift in circumstances, because guess what? When you do this, you will have long-term fulfillment and fulfilling yourself, those small victories that you begin to grow, right? A sense of fulfillment. What is it to have a sense of fulfillment? And then you have these long-term goals that now you are now facing the discomfort, right? And it's necessary. It's a part of your journey of who you will be today and tomorrow. That's what Maya Angelou did. She embraced the discomfort of telling that story. And it constantly, now she is no longer with us, but her story is inspiring so many still to today. And that could be you too. The third one, get support. Support. And get support and the power of communication. Now, what do you mean by get support and powers of communication? Just what it is. Stepping out of your comfort zone and effective communication, it goes hand in hand. Because what starts to happen is, if you growth doesn't happen in isolation. It happens with collaborative processes. When you have the right people around you, it enhances you with the ability to push you through these discomforts. Whether you have a mentor, whether you have a coach, a supportive community, having someone to guide you, an accountability partner, is invaluable. They can provide you the clarity and the direction needful when you're moving through these different zones. And it can help you see the potential that you may not always see for yourself. So accountability is something where you can have clear and open communication, and the support system through these mentors, through these coaches, through these therapists, through these friends, whatever it looks like. When you articulate your goals and the process to someone else, you make a commitment that I'm going to regularly check in with you. I'm going to track my success. I'm going to track what I didn't do something well. I'm going to actively work towards moving myself through these zones. I'm going to actively have simple conversations to reignite myself when I feel stuck. I'm going to get out there, take the steps what I need to take. And then also, this is another one with communication. Communication allows for honest feedback, which is essential for stepping into new challenges. You got to be able to take the feedback, because sometimes when we're too close to a problem or too close to a situation, we need someone else with a different eye, because there's those blind spots that someone else can see that we may have missed. And that constructive conversation will be better for you to understand your strengths in areas to improve, in areas to move into, and then you'll be able to course correct and grow faster than you would ever think. So the when you're moving through this with effective communication, you can also gain emotional support. And I'm all about emotional regulation because when self-doubt seeps in, that inner critic and that silent little voice in your head you listen to, and we don't understand that at times we need emotional support to connect us, to reassure us, to have empathy at times in moments when we have hesitation. So knowing that you have a space, a safe space, that when you can challenge someone to say to you, I need your support right now. And then you begin to see how collaboration can grow you more than ever, receiving help from someone else, and then really creating that collaborative type of environment. Communicating with others simply means that you are on a similar path, sharing those experiences, learning from one another, others people's success, their setbacks, exchanging ideas, strategies, help you grow. And it's not about you being able to not get what you need. It's about you being able to say and communicate to push yourself and contributing to other people growth as well. So remember, this is not a solo endeavor. By you leveraging your communication with your mentors, your peers, coaches, therapists, your community. The support system that will hold you accountable when you feel like you're drifting back into that comfort zone. It offers you valuable feedback. It helps you with emotionally grounding yourself. And it opens up in the dialogue that begins to fuel you, that gives you to refuel you, that allows you to navigate those challenging times because challenging times will happen. It just will happen. It's a part of life. So now that we went through all the stages of the zones, I want you to understand that when you're in the growth zone, I want you to think about what's keeping you in your comfort zone today. And maybe fear. And how can you push yourself through it? And stepping out of your comfort zone is where you want to be. And I want to challenge you this week. I want to challenge you to identify one step that you can do in the learning zone. And maybe you can get my course about finding your voice, communicating the guide to communicate. It's a free guide. You can get that. You can how to communicate like a pro, how to communicate. It's a communication guide. I want you to take a leap that stretches you. I want you to share your goal with me. Put it in the comments. Let's take this journey together because as you're moving in this space, I want you to push yourself into your greater potential. And I believe that starts with you being able to articulate what those needs are. I believe that at times we don't know how to say what we need to say. We at times do not realize that we need to master our communication. So I have a guide that can master your communication. It's totally free. You can go ahead and get that. Because when I introduce this to you, your comfort zone is a trap for you, for your dreams to die. And I understand that staying in your comfort zone is going to trap you. But it's a mask. It's a mask. But as you are I want to normalize the fear, but I want you to know staying in your fear is going to kill your dreams. So I want you to embrace new challenges this week. And I want you to contact me if that's something that you would like to do, or contact somebody that you can begin to get into a great space of understanding that you don't necessarily have to stay in that comfort zone. There's strategies here. Use some of these today to get out of the comfort zone, right? And move into a space that you can build your communication, you can build the life that you so desire, and move into the growth mindset zone. All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to move into this space where you are moving into a space of I am moving strategies today. And I want to encourage you to go ahead and like and subscribe. And I want you to also share this video with someone that you think that will enjoy it. Because guess what? Speaking Your Power Now is a community that's growing, that's showing people strategies how to move out of their comfort zone, right? And move into a space where they can be their best selves. Well, like I always end it, sometimes your life is defined by one single moment. Let that moment be today. Until next time.